Right, we'll start today's reaction with a disclaimer that there will be swearing today. I don't normally swear on these reactions, but there is no other words I can summon to describe that performance other than that we were absolutely shit. Absolutely fucking dreadful. There is no other words to describe it. I could end the reaction right there, by the way. I could just say, my reaction to Manchester United against Tottenham is that Manchester United was shit. The end. We're not going to do that because obviously I like to do a genuine breakdown on my thoughts on this. And honestly, I think what I've witnessed today is certainly the worst first half performance I have seen from a Manchester United side in my living memory. Genuinely, I cannot believe how rubbish and how crap we were in that first half. I lost count of how many times we gave the ball away. I really have. I mean, I've got the stats here for the entire game and I will bring them up in a moment. We had 78% pass accuracy for the entire match. That even of itself is shambolic. But the problem I've got with that first half is that everything that I've praised us for this season went out the window in that first half. How we still look better mentally, how the passing plays, the patterns of play were present and we were creating good opportunities. All of that went out the window the moment that Tottenham scored. I mean, I say the moment, well, the moment the whistle was blown at the start of the game, that went out the window. And I know people are going to want to talk about the red card, and we can talk about the red card shortly, but this is where I will now bring the stats up. Right? There's the stats for the whole game. 4.6 XG for Spurs to 0.9 for Man United. 61% possession, 24 shots, 9 big chances, the most in recorded Premier League history since they started doing the big chances stat, matching Newcastle's 8-0 over Sheffield United last season to Manchester United's 0. Right? Here's where the issue comes. If I put it on the first half only, 37% possession to 63% possession, 2 XG. Put it to the second half, we have more XG and more possession. So, what's the impact of the red card? I'll tell you what the impact of the red card was. We played better. Without Bruno Fernandes, with 10 men, we played better. That is a disgrace. Just firstly on the players themselves and to just how poor Bruno Fernandes has been this season. And look, the last video was talking about dropping Bruno Fernandes because he's been shit. And he has been shit. He's just not been on it this season. I don't know what's wrong with him. It happens. Like, players go off the boil. I think a player of his ability will come back. And I know they're already talking about appealing the red card, but honestly, I hope he gets the break. I really do. I imagine he's still going to play against Porto in midweek, but to lose him for the next 3 Premier League games will actually give us an opportunity to experiment with the likes of Eriksen and Mount further forward, or maybe play Xerxes off the front with Højlund up front. But it'll also give Bruno a break. And we've been on about this now for 3 years. Bruno needs a break. He plays every minute of every game for club and for country. And he does not get a break. Well, now, under mitigating circumstances, he might get a break. Because, honestly, I am not surprised that red card wasn't overturned. And we'll talk about the red card here and now. My first instinct was, there's no way. I mean, my first instinct was, he slipped. When the free kick was given, I went, oh dear, he slipped. Maybe he'll get booked. When I saw the red card, I was stunned. Because it's like, he slipped. Of course he slipped. There's no way that should ever be a red card. He slipped. Then you watch the replay. And he does slip. But he then lifts his leg up. Now, don't get me wrong. The slip will cause that leg to come up. On one of the angles, you see him lunge that leg outwards. If he'd have just left it hanging, it's only a yellow card. But while he's in midair, you do see that leg go forwards. And he doesn't catch him with his studs. He catches him with his ankle. And Bruno says that himself after the game. He thought a yellow card would have been fair because he caught him with his ankle. But I come back to what I said about the Jack Stevens tackle on Garnacho. Because I said it right here on this channel. I thought the Jack Stevens red card on Garnacho was harsh. Because he doesn't actually catch him with his studs. He catches him with the outside of his boot. Which is exactly what Bruno Fernandes catches James Maddison with today. And I said, if that's a precedent that they're setting, then we can't complain when it happens against us. So I'm not going to complain that it's happened against us. I'm not. Because there is that movement from Fernandes. And his studs are up. He doesn't catch him with the studs. He does catch him with his boot. And yes, he slipped. But, do you know what? I just don't think it's being overturned. And if they do appeal it, they might win the appeal on the grounds that he slipped. But I don't think they'll win the appeal on the grounds that his studs are up and he didn't actually make contact with the studs. But, like I say, outside of that, would that have mattered? I mean, I've already shown it. I've already shown the stats. We actually played better in the second half with 10 men. And another reason for that is because Garnacho was on the left. And this is where, again, I'm going to get angry with Ten Hag and I'm going to start swearing because I sat here the other day and said you cannot keep playing players out of position because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Garnacho is a left winger, not a right winger. We have a right winger. His name is Ahmad and he's doing very, very well. Stop forcing Garnacho and Rashford to play together where one of them is out of position. It doesn't work. You put Garnacho on that left-hand side in the second half, and shock horror, he was causing Porro all sorts of problems. So that miffed me off as well. And it's just so many pieces of bollocks in this game. And as I said, it started from the first whistle. The goal itself, you learn from your mistakes. Or in our case, you don't. The FC20 goal in midweek. Yes, Eriksen gave the ball away. That's what caused the eventual goal. But it started with a player from the FC20 defence picking the ball up and running through our whole team. Fast forward to Tottenham in the second minute of the game. It's a shit touch from Rashford in the first place to then lose it. Takes both him and Garnacho out of the game. And then Van de Ven comes forward. Bruno does nothing. Ugarte does nothing. Mazraoui is covering Werner on the outside. De Ligt recognises what's about to happen, but he expected Fernandes and Ugarte to do something a little bit quicker. He can't get there in time. Onana stands on his goal line. The ball comes across. Dallow's in fucking no man's land. And Brennan Johnson has a tap in at the back post and it's 1-0. And you can even see it on the behind camera replay. The moment Brennan Johnson scores, Dallow goes, puts his hand in the air, puts his thumbs up and goes, yeah, my bad. I've let him go. Well, we're 2 minutes into the game. How have you let him go? Like, I can understand when you're tiring and you've worked hard all half and, you know, you get those late goals. But it's the second minute of the match. How have you let Brennan Johnson get a full 30, 40 yards on you? You should be on the other side of the pitch. Rashford's on the left-hand side, comes inside, gets on the ball. Rashford and Garnacho on the right-hand side of the pitch. Dallow will be in the left centre-mid position because he does the false back thing. The moment that ball is overturned, Dallow should be getting back on Brennan Johnson. He's nowhere. He's absolutely nowhere. So that was just the shit start to the game. And then from there, like I say, the passing. What a load of bollocks. What were we doing? It's the worst passing display I have seen from Manchester United ever. Like, I've been singing the praises of Kobe Mainoo over the last 12 months. I've been singing the praises of Joshua Zirkzee since he's come in about how he links up the play. And obviously we know about Bruno when he's on it. It's like they were strangers. Every single one of them. Not a single outfield player can say they were good with the ball today. Onana is the only player that walks away from today's game with his head held high. If it wasn't for Onana, it'd have been 6 or 7. He made some brilliant saves at key moments in that match, Onana, to try his best to keep us in it. And he wasn't that bad with the ball at his feet today. Every single one of them, every single one of the rest of them, shit. Absolute shit. Rubbish on the ball. Second goal. Guess when it was? Oh, that's right. 2 minutes into the second half. Because yet again, despite even making changes, the mindset is not right. And unfortunately, that comes from the manager. And we've seen it with Erik ten Hag's Manchester United side near enough, 30, 40 times in 3 years. That at the first 10 minutes of the first half and the first 10 minutes of the second half, we're still in the fucking dressing room. And it happened again. We got 10 men. What you do with 10 men at the start of the second half is say, right, set yourselves back in, wait for your moments because there's going to be moments. Then push yourselves forward and we'll take our chances if they come. Because it's if they come. You've got 10 men. Chances are if they come when you've got 10 men. But no, that's not what we're going to do. First 2 minutes of the second half, we're just going to pile everyone forward, try and catch Spurs off guard, and then we're going to get hit on the counter-attack. Martinez has got 3 to deal with, and Martinez being Martinez, lunges in, misses it, ball comes away. Dallo, I think it was, got back in, or Mazraoui got back in. They were unlucky, and it's a brilliant finish from Kulusevski, and it's 2-0. And at 2-0, we finally decided to start playing some proper football because we were actually using it smarter. I honestly thought at one point we might actually be getting back into the game. There were a couple of times where there were half chances, we were unlucky, we were starting to get set pieces, we were starting to look dangerous. And then speaking of set pieces, to round off the utter pile of shit that was today's performance, we concede from yet another corner. Please, I've been banging on about this for 2 years. Please, someone explain the fucking box. I don't understand it. Why do we put all of our tall players in a box around Onana, put all the midgets, marking all the threats, and then when those players are even in and around your little box protecting Onana or De Gea as it was before, someone like Papa Sarr can literally be standing behind Casemiro, go la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da to get in front of Casemiro. So then when the cross comes in, Casemiro can't get back in front of him. Pap Sarr just flicks it on. And then Solanke looks at our box and goes, oh, there's a nice big gap between these two players. I'm going to walk into that space there and then touch it in the open net. Make it make sense. If he's being marked by a bigger player, he can't make that run. If Casemiro is marking Pap Sarr rather than just standing on the corner of the 6-yard box, he would have stopped that cross. Make it make sense. And what pisses me off so much about this is that all the big sides in world football are doing it. You watched that Arsenal-Manchester City game the other day, right? Arsenal literally targeted Man City for playing like this. They had Bernardo Silva marking Gabriel, and then Gabriel nearly scored. City noticed this and went, oh, that's a problem. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's put Kyle Walker on Gabriel, not Ruben Diaz, not Akanji, not the big centre-half. Let's put Kyle Walker on Gabriel, still put the big players in the box, and shock horror, Gabriel scored. Fast forward to the other end of the pitch, and after Arsenal have intentionally targeted that style of defending a corner from a set piece, you look at how Arsenal defended against City, and all of the Gabriels and the Salibas and the Calafiores are in the box, and you've got Saka and Partey marking Rodri and Haaland. Why? I don't get it. Who has decided that the box is how you defend set pieces? It is bollocks. It is the biggest load of nonsense I've ever seen in football. No one's on the post. No one is actually protecting the goalkeeper because you see the likes of White and Martinelli standing on Edison. So the protection of the goalkeeper doesn't actually happen because players can stand inside the box and still target the goalkeeper, allowing space for everyone else to get in. And even though teams are exploiting it as a weakness, they're still using it themselves. Just nonsense. And unfortunately, in the context of this game, that third goal finished us off. We were done. Absolutely finished. Who cares? Compound the shit performance. 3-0. Could have been more. Should have been more. Like I say, Onana's the only reason it wasn't more. And let's be honest, if it was Son instead of Werner, Onana would have been a non-factor and Heung-min Son would have scored all those chances. And it would have been 5 or 6. So, I've got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing. Everyone takes the blame for this one. Players were shit. Coaching was shit. Subs were shit. Tactics were shit. Set piece coach that we signed in the summer isn't doing his job because we can't defend set pieces and we can't score from set pieces. So that's all shit. And we're in 12th in the Premier League table. Inevitably, I think Bournemouth beat Southampton tomorrow. So when Bournemouth beat Southampton tomorrow, we are 13th. We have Porto away in the Europa League. And then we've got Villa away in the Premier League. If he survives that, I will be shocked. Because right now, we lose to Porto. Right now, we lose to Villa. And that is a really, really shit look for the start of this season going into the next international break. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. It has been a horrendous day as a Manchester United fan. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.